So I had a subscriber, not a subscriber. I had a critic, not a subscriber, a dog lover, in the comment section to one of my videos point out that you know taking the risk having a dog is the same as taking a risk driving your car. Now, I only point that comment out in the comment section as an example. But actually, I've heard this for a long time. I've heard this. I think I've touched on it a few times. I have touched on it a few times. But I've never really gotten into it because I always thought people were smarter than that. And when you go down certain roads, it's like, why are we even talking about this? Things that should be common sense. But I understand that we're dealing with people who don't see things a certain way. So let's compare dog attacks to driving car. Is it the same? Simply because there's a risk? Well, you don't use the dog for anything practical. That's the big difference. Transportation is very important. Far more important than having a dog. You can't ride your dog to work. Your dog is there for nothing more than your personal psychological pleasure, and maybe some other types of pleasures. It does not assist you in day-to-day activities. You are required to have transportation to have a job. Some places won't hire you if you don't have your own transportation. I've had, and this is going back decades, I remember filling out job applications, and they asked me if I had reliable transportation to and from work. I'm like, of course. I guess they wanted to know if I was riding the bus. I got transportation. Is it reliable? Yeah, it's reliable. You got to get to and from work. You're not going to do it with no dog. What you going to tell them? I got a dog. No, I don't have a car. I don't have a vehicle, but I got a dog. You can't use dogs for nothing practical, tangible. It's just a fetish. A fetish. You get off on rubbing on them. That's a fetish. Okay? If you got off on rubbing men, people would look at that as a fetish. Well, here you're rubbing dogs and you're kissing them. If you got off on rubbing, adopted men from shelters, rubbing on them and kissing them, that sounds like a fetish to me. Personal fetish doesn't benefit you at all. Matter of fact, is a constant expense. Several of you dog lovers admit to this, that dogs are a constant expense. So are vehicles. But we don't drive vehicles with the intention of crashing into each other. And there are no vehicles that are being operated by people who are bred to crash into each other. Now, like I said, nobody should have to explain this to you. It feels disrespectful to even have to talk about this. It feels disrespectful to the listeners, to the people. We shouldn't have discussions like this, comparing driving cars. Yes, there's a risk driving automobiles, but we got a whole system in place to avoid running into each other. If there were some vehicles with the instinct to crash into other vehicles, those vehicles would be outlawed. No, they're programmed to run into other vehicles. The way that dogs have an instinct to attack. And then you got some dogs, they all got the instinct to attack, to establish dominance. Get off on seeing living creatures bleeding and dying. They all are like that. But you actually have a breed that was bred for that specifically, and they're more muscular. You want to compare that to driving vehicles. You see, this car doesn't have the instinct to crash into the tree. We don't have an instinct to do that. Dogs want to do that. I mentioned earlier that when there's more than one dog, the prey drive intensifies. And when the more dogs there are, the greater the prey drive, the more likely they are to attack someone, especially if they are alone. Now, I read an article that was published recently where they pointed out that the reason why dogs attack children is because they view them as prey. Okay, finally, there's an article that just came out and admitted it. That's the simple truth. That wasn't that hard, was it? It wasn't complicated. You don't feel like you submitted to some crazy guy on the internet, do you? That's just a fact. It's just a fact. They have an instinct to attack and kill. And they're very odd because they're mutants. So they attack just to see the victim in pain and dying. Don't even eat them. All the more reason they shouldn't be tolerated in society. You can't compare this to driving vehicles. You know how important vehicles are to us, for us? Travel, important. Like, who in their right mind makes that comparison? Car accidents are very unfortunate, but that's not something that gives us pleasure like it does with dogs. People don't get off on crashing into each other. Dogs get off on attacking people. See, now me saying that these people have a low IQ, doesn't it sound like I'm dealing with somebody with a low IQ? I shouldn't have to explain this. This is what I'm saying. I'm not that intelligent myself. I'm not that smart, or else I'd be a millionaire. Okay? I'd be a self-made man if I was all that bright. But even I know better than that. What are y'all doing? And some of you who had the brains to become millionaires in your 30s or whatever, or to be very well off, you're still dumb enough to have these things up in your homes. So money doesn't always mean intelligence, but my goodness, I am not the smartest person. I'm not even in the upper class of intelligence. And I know way better than to do something this crazy. Okay? The whole idea of driving vehicles is to make money. For the most part. That's the most important reason why we have vehicles. To generate income. We think about that. You comparing these driving cars or having car accidents to owning dogs. That's the primary reason we drive. Now, we will visit people, go on vacation, whatever. One thing we do every day is go back and forth to work. You comparing that to owning a dog. See now, since you opened up that conversation, since you all opened up that conversation, now we got to pay attention how worthless dogs are. Y'all brought this up. That's all I'm explaining right now, how worthless they are. They serve no purpose. All they do is present life-changing threats. So it's intelligent not to have them around. Worthless. The only way y'all use dogs to generate income is by selling them. But it's just like selling crack. These dogs you're selling end up, ripping somebody apart, getting people sick, destroying whole communities, the foundation, soil itself, the air and everything. They represent nothing but negative no matter what way you look at it. Even if they're not attacking anybody, they're still a negative. They're polluting the air and water like nothing else. Like nothing else. So I don't want to hear it. I can hear y'all now talking about well-behaved and giving a well-behaved lecture. Save it. I don't want to hear it. Even if they're not attacking anybody, they are a negative for us. You know how unhealthy it is to inhale dog excrement and urine, especially looking at how toxic it is. We should prevent that at all costs, even if it requires getting rid of dogs, which is exactly the only way it can be done. Y'all out of your minds. This is why I say y'all govern a very primitive society I don't want no parts of. We need dog-free territories. And it should be a vast territory, a whole state. We need to make a whole state. We got 50 of them. I don't want to hear it. 50 states. Make one, no dogs allowed. No dogs. Here, I don't want to hear about how well behaved your mutt is. They stink. They're annoying. They cause a lot of accidents. Okay? Just an endless expense. Do nothing but drain resources and endanger communities. That's not the purpose of an automobile. Not the purpose of an automobile. If we could have it our way, we would never have an accident. Nobody wants to be in a car accident. What is wrong with you? Nobody. Dogs want to kill. They want to attack. That's why you base all your training on neutralizing their instinct to attack, trying to suppress their instinct to attack. That's all y'all's training is about. That's all it's about. Manipulating it with food. Oh, a person walks up, the dog wants to attack it, you pull out some food, give it to the dog. So now you pull out food and give it to the dog before people even get close, so that the dog will look for food every time it sees people. So you're trying to associate the sight of people with receiving treats. Trying to suppress its instinct to attack, really just diverting its attention from attacking to eating. Because, like I said, they have a very, they're obsessed with food. Abnormally obsessed with food. They'll risk their life for food. They'll ignore a threat. They'll ignore danger for food. It's very dumb. We shouldn't support the existence of something that backwards. There's nothing admirable about nothing that dumb, you know. I admire people who look down on something that dumb. That's dumb. Ain't nothing cute about that. You know? And this is just the case with dogs. That's why you can't train cats. They're not that obsessed with food like that. They see you dangling food in front of them, they wondering what's wrong with you. Get out of here. You trying to social condition? Get out of here. But dogs, abnormally obsessed. Cars, automobiles, as long as they're not crashing into anybody, we enjoy them. We wash them. Okay, we look good in them. Right? We traveled the world. Do you know how efficiently we traveled? You look at the ground-breaking, how more advanced we are with automobiles. How much more efficient it is for us to travel. Are you out of your mind? This is the most efficient we've ever been able to travel with automobiles. It's really with airplanes, but aside from airplanes, most definitely automobiles. They're not on a track like a train. I'm like, well, are you out of your mind? Comparing owning a worthless mutt. See, y'all's thing, y'all don't understand. I don't want to hear about no bomb sniffing dogs. None of this other stupid nonsense. They pointed out several times those types of dogs only make up like 1% of all dogs. If that. It's not that many dogs that are even on the armed forces. Very small percentage of the dogs. So I don't want to hear about no benefits. And those goofy benefits that y'all bring up, y'all love to bring up, of these dogs, is not more important than it's not worth the trade-off, the consequences. You're talking about deaths. What is wrong with you? Deaths. Look at Jacqueline Duran. Look at her. You saying we should accept that just because you could use a dog to sniff out a bomb? We should risk that happening to us or our family just because some people use dogs as CNI dogs, which they don't even need? No, I don't think so. Get you one of these high-tech devices and shut up, because they're more effective than dogs. There's always a better alternative than a dumb, stinking, toxic, polluting dog. Why don't we appreciate our water enough to get rid of these things? As soon as we found out that their excrement's the number one contaminant of our drinking water, should have been in a state of emergency at that point. Then when they did those tests, it found dog excrement in the air outside in multiple cities. Now, each city was a large city. So I'm sure the same as in any densely populated area. How is that even possible? Yep, that sounds impossible. How you find excrement in the air? I mean, have y'all really soaked in how serious some of the things we've gone over here is? How is that possible? Outside? You know how much space there is outside? You mean the air was not, filtered enough by the vast sky to the point where we don't have excrement in the air? And they said they found traces of excrement in the air itself. Like, it wasn't even microscopic. Now, I'm sure it was small, but man, what is you talking about? I don't even care if it's microscopic. Oh, you talking about dander? So now we see how toxic their excrement. It's the most toxic. It's the most toxic of all excrement to come from any creature on the planet. So is its urine. And its urine is being inhaled too. The point is, we don't know how sick these things are making us. We have no idea. And I don't think the doctors and scientists are being honest. But car crashes are traumatizing. So are dog attacks. But dog attacks are a trauma that you can actively avoid and that you can predict. You can prevent by not having the dog there. Don't serve no purpose anyways. Worthless anyways. So, yeah, we should not have to have this discussion. I don't want to have this discussion no more, nutters. You know, the dog lovers, they love to come out with oh, you drive a car. I do a lot of things that have a risk. Me just getting up walking is a risk. I could trip, fall, and bang my head against a sharp object. But I got to get into my kitchen. You see how that works? When you take a risk whenever you move or go outside, anything. You walk outside, somebody shoot you in the head. The idea is to avoid unnecessary oh, God. Can't believe I'm talking to grown people. This can't be happening. I feel sorry for people, man. There's a thick ignorance and evil in the world, in the atmosphere. It's thick. I recently got over a cold or a flu. I caught something. But I didn't even know that I caught it because I just got tired. I didn't have the sniffling, the congestion, all the symptoms. I just got tired. And I know it had to be something because I slept all through yesterday. I got up, stayed up for maybe 20 minutes, went right back to sleep. I kept going back to sleep. I felt real tired. I figured, I caught something. But it wasn't nearly as bad as it used to be. And I don't eat meat or dairy. Like I have a clean diet. And I still get sick. I didn't feel good just then. So I think I'd be a whole lot healthier if I wasn't inhaling dog excrement right now. I mean, if it's in the air outside, that means it's getting in your house. You say, so something wrong with us for pointing that out? That's not cool. I don't want to inhale your dog's urine and excrement in the form of dander floating through the air. I'm the bad guy, right, for pointing that out, saying that that's not cool. You shouldn't be affecting the air I breathe. And it's something worthless, not even necessary. Like, how do you hear people like me say the things I say and feel like you just have to object? No, you have to concede. That's inappropriate, and you shouldn't be doing it. Shouldn't be doing it. Now, I'm happy because smart people, or at least basic level intelligent people, are at least here now. We're here now, and we're going to grow. And our population is going to grow. And I don't think we need to directly challenge the dog culture, the dog world. We don't need rallies and, they have these rallies and whatnot. They out holding signs and giving lectures. I'm definitely not going to be. If I were to go around the country doing lectures, if anybody were to do that, man, you would need security. Do you know how much security you need? You would need to give your speech behind bulletproof walls. There will be dog lovers trying to take you out simply because you're speaking against the presence of their killers. Flat out killers. Okay? And it's so disrespectful to the people who've been attacked and killed by dogs. They're worthless, serve no purpose, and it's the dog meant to do it. They meant to kill. They're doing this on purpose. When people have accidents, that's usually what it is. They don't mean to do that. Oh my goodness, you dog lovers. You dog lovers. Now, hey, maybe you feel like I'm picking on somebody with a weak argument, but they're the only ones leaving comments on my channel. And I'm not doing that. If I see a well thought out argument, I'll respond to anything that dog lovers say. I feel like I've heard it all. They've put everything they want to say out there. You can find it, their websites and whatever, their YouTube channels. So, yeah, I hope to hear from you. What's going on with y'all, man? It's Christmas break. I've recovered from something. So it's back to work for me. I hope all of y'all being productive. Even though we're on a break, we need to remember to stay active. If you go for a walk, be careful. But get moving, work out, do something. Make sure you do something constructive. It's good for the brain. And I will chop it up with all of you on the next live stream, hopefully, as we continue with this crusade.